My dear 10th class students, today once again I am before you with another revision video. Another important lesson in geography, that is India's relief features. Before I go into the topic, I want to say you one thing. I am getting decent amount of likes, but I think you are forgetting to subscribe. Please subscribe my channel. And going to the topic, India's relief features. As an Indian, one should know something about India and India's greatness and what are the physical features of India. So in this lesson, we have many important aspects. This lesson is very important as far as examination point of view is concerned. Number of 1 mark questions are there, 2 mark questions are there, 4 marks questions are there, 8 marks questions are also there. So this is a big chapter. So I want to divide this into 2 parts. So today I will be coming before you with only part 1. The other part will be given tomorrow. So as far as this first part is concerned, we have many 1 mark questions such as where India is located, what is the geometrical location of India, what is the longitudinal and latitudinal extent where the sun rises at first, which is the Indian standard meridian, which is prime meridian, and about Himalayas we have many 1 mark questions, and regarding Indo-Gangetic plains also, and of course Peninsular Plateau. So up to Peninsular Plateau, today I will be discussing in the revision video, and the next part, that is relating to Thar Desert, plains and islands, that will be discussed in the next part. Coming to the first part, so where India is located? India is located in the northern hemisphere. How can you say that India is located in the northern hemisphere? As India is situated to the north of equator, we say that India is located in northern hemisphere. And India is also located in eastern hemisphere. Few people will ask, it is not there in textbook. Never it is mentioned. But you have to know that India is also located in eastern hemisphere. Why? Because India is situated to the east of prime meridian. So we say that India is also located in eastern hemisphere. But when it comes to the examination point of view, suppose if you get any question regarding the location of India, you better write northern hemisphere only. But you should not have any confusion. If at all you want to write, you can write that, you keep it as a note. India is also located in eastern hemisphere as it is situated to the east of prime meridian. And what is the geometrical location of India? Straight away it is not given in your textbook. So in the adjacent map, they have given the geometrical location. So don't think that you will get questions only from the theory part. Even by seeing map also you will be getting questions. Questions will be framed like that. What is the geometrical location of India? The geometrical location of India is located between 8 degrees 4 minutes and 37 degrees 6 minutes north latitudes, 68 degrees 7 minutes and 97 degrees 25 minutes east longitudes. So this is the geometrical location of India. Then see, approximately from north, from 8 degrees to 37 degrees, it is approximately 30 degrees. And east side From west to east, 68 degrees to 97 degrees, approximately 30 degrees. So there is approximately 30 degrees of latitudinal and longitudinal difference. So this is a unique location of our country. So due to 30 degrees of longitudinal extent between eastern side and western side, the sun first rises in Arunachal Pradesh. The time difference between Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat, in Dwaraka in Gujarat, is 2 hours. So you should know how to calculate 2 hours. So when we move from one longitude to another longitude, it takes 4 minutes. The difference from west to east is 30 degrees. So 30 degrees into 4 minutes, it is 120 minutes. 120 minutes is equal to 2 hours. So in order to avoid confusion, 82.5 degree east longitude has been considered as Indian Standard Meridian. Then 0 degree is called as Greenwich Mean Time or Prime Meridian. Now the time difference between India and England is 5.5 hours. As India is situated to the east of Prime Meridian, our time is 5.5 hours ahead than the English time. So all these things are very, very important as far as the introductory part is concerned. Then India is a peninsula. So what is the meaning of a peninsula? A landmass surrounded by water from 3 sides is called as peninsula. So we have Bay of Bengal on the eastern side, Arabian Sea on the western side, and the Indian Ocean on the southern side. So a landmass covered with water on 3 sides is called as a peninsula. See, often India is also called as subcontinent. What is the meaning of subcontinent? A country in a continent having diversified physical, social, cultural contrasts marked by unity in diversity. So that is the meaning of subcontinent. I repeat, a country in a continent having diversified physical, social, cultural contrasts marked by unity in diversity. Now, coming back to the diversities, see, India is having different physical features. So the physical divisions of India are: 1, Himalayas, Indo-Gangetic Plain, Peninsular Plateau, Thar Desert, that is desert, then coastal plains, both east coastal plains and western coast plains, and then we have islands. See, all these physical features are having a lot of varied and variations. And with regard to many things, we are diversified. People speak different languages. People adopt different cultures. And we find different types of soils. We find different crops are grown in different areas. We find a concentration of minerals. We find different food habits. We find different religions. We find different castes within the religion. So by seeing all these things, we say that India is a subcontinent. So a country in a continent having diversified physical, social, cultural contrasts marked by unity in diversity. Now coming back to the first part, that is Himalayas divisions. See, Himalayas are the youngest folded mountains. The immediate question comes, which are the oldest folded mountains? Aravalis are the oldest folded mountains. The question will be definite from regarding Himalayas. Write about Himalayas, or what are the parallel ranges of Himalayas. Describe the importance of Himalayas. All these are very, very important. What is a done? Give example. What is a past? Give example. Coming to the Himalayas. Himalayas are the youngest folded mountains. They extend from Jammu and Kashmir up to Arunachal Pradesh. The longitudinal extent of Himalayas is 2,400 kilometers. The width varies from 500 kilometers to 200 kilometers from north to east. And they cover approximately an area of 5 lakh square kilometers. This is not given in your textbook, but it is a very good point you have to note. So that is about briefly about Himalayas. Then these Himalayas have 3 parallel ranges. The parallel ranges of Himalayas are Himadri, Himachal, Shivaliks. Himadri is also called as Greater Himalayas. Himachal is called as Lesser Himalayas. Shivaliks are called as Outer Himalayas. See, any one of these can be asked for 1 mark. What is the other name for Himadri? Greater Himalayas. What is the other name for Himachal? Lesser Himalayas. What is the other name for Shivaliks? Outer Himalayas. I have told in the beginning itself that in this lesson you get many 1 mark questions, as well as these 1 mark questions can be together asked as 2 mark questions also. So 2 marks question, what are the parallel ranges of Himalayas? The parallel ranges of Himalayas are Himadri, Himachal, Shivaliks. Himadri, Greater Himalayas. Himachal, Lesser Himalayas. And Shivaliks, Outer Himalayas. And a question may be asked, write about Himadri. So you have to write like this. Himadri is also known as the Greater Himalayas. This Himadri is covered by thick snow. Number of glaciers are present. The average height of the peaks present in the Himadri range is more than 6,100 kilometers average. Mount Everest is present here. The height of Mount Everest is 8,848 meters. This Himadri region is snowbound throughout the year. So these are the points you have to mention. Then coming to the Himachal. Himachal is also known as Lesser Himalayas. And another easy point what you can write is Himachal is situated to the south of Himadri. That is better for you to write first. To the south of Himadri, Himachal is situated. Himachal is also called as Lesser Himalayas. And the average height of the mountain peaks varies from 3,500 to 4,100, etc. And the most important peak present in this is Pir Panjal range. And in this Lesser Himalaya region, you find a number of valleys and hill stations. Kashmir Valley, Kulu, Kangra, Manali, all these are present. And hill stations like Simla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Chakrata, Ranikhet. These are the important hill stations that are present. Then coming to the Shivaliks. First point is very easy. Shivaliks are situated to the south of Himachal. The average height of the ranges will be around 1,000 meters. In this, these Shivaliks are called in different names in different areas. In Jammu area, they are called as Jammu Hills. In Arunachal Pradesh, they are called as Mishme Hills. In Assam, they are called as Kachar Hills. You find a number of duns in this region. Now, what is a dun? The valleys present between Lesser Himalayas and the Shivaliks are called as duns. I repeat, the valleys present between the Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks are called as duns. So we have another definition for a dun. Listen carefully. A narrow, longitudinal, flat-bottomed, steep valley is called as Edden. I repeat, a narrow, longitudinal, flat-bottomed, steep valley is called as Edden. Examples: Dehradun, Kotli, Patli. So this is about Shivaliks. So either Himadri or Himachal or Shivaliks can be given individually for 2 marks, or mention what are the parallel ranges of Himalayas can be asked for 2 marks. And what is Himadri known as, what is Himachal known as, what is Shivaliks known as, what is Edden, give example. So these are all 1 mark and 2 mark questions. Or straight away explain the parallel ranges of Himalayas. This may be asked either for 4 marks or for 8 marks. You have many points to write if it is asked for 8 marks. Then another most important aspect as far as the Himalayas is concerned, describe the importance of Himalayas. Very, very important question. One should learn this. Himalayas are protecting our country from the cold winds of Central Asia. They are responsible for getting rainfall. They are responsible for the economic development of Indo-Gangetic Plain. They are responsible for the maintenance of tropical monsoon type of climates. They promote tourism because we have number of valleys and hill stations. Number of valleys and hill stations are there that promote tourism. So because of tourism, India earns a lot of foreign exchange. And alpine type of vegetation improves our forest economy. You find a number of passes. So what is a pass here? A natural route across the mountains through which in the ancient time, trade and culture has been exchanged. Examples: Khyber, Bolan, Shipkila, Nathula, Bombadila. These are the names of the passes. So that is about the importance of Himalayas. Then we have Indo-Gangetic Plain. Indo-Gangetic Plain is situated to the south of Himalayas. The longitudinal extent of Indo-Gangetic Plains in India is 2,400 kilometers. The name Indo-Gangetic Plain has been derived due to the presence of a river Indus and Ganges. Indus and Ganges are the Himalayan rivers. The rivers which will flow throughout the year are called as Himalayan rivers or perennial rivers. So Himalayan rivers are taken their origin in the Himalayas, so they are called as Himalayan rivers from Manasarovar. So Indus, Ganges and Brahmaputra, these 3 are called as Himalayan rivers. They cover an area of 7 lakh square kilometers. So this is one of the finest deltas present in the world. So these Indo-Gangetic plains, they are classified into 3 parts: western part, eastern part, and central part. Western part was mainly drained by river Indus. Part of Haryana and Punjab is mainly drained by Indus. Why? Because major part of Indus will be going to Pakistan. And central part will be drained by river Ganga and its tributaries. And the eastern part will be drained by Brahmaputra river. Coming to the tributaries of river Indus. The tributaries of river Indus are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Sutlej. The tributaries of river Ganga are Yamuna, Son, Gandak, Ghagra, Kosi. See, these 2 can be asked for 2 marks. Write about the tributaries of river Indus as well as Ganges. Or into how many types the Indo-Gangetic Plain has been classified. So Brahmaputra river basin will be drained by Brahmaputra river and mainly Assam area. So Ganga plains will be extending from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal. The eastern part, that is Assam, it will be drained by Brahmaputra river. At first, Brahmaputra river enters into Arunachal Pradesh, then it passes through Assam, then it reaches Bangladesh, and then into Bay of Bengal. See, we find 4 major surface differences in the Indo-Gangetic plain. They are Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar, and Khadar. The pebble-studded zone porous beds are known as Bhabar. The pebble-studded zone porous beds are known as Bhabar. Wide marshy tract is called as Terai. See here, if you know this much, it is enough. Otherwise, you have to write some of the small Himalayan rivers which are flowing on the Bhabar region will go down to the Terai region and again come back onto the Bhabar zone, re-emerge in the tract. So that is called as Terai. So instead of that, you can write that wide marshy tract is called as Terai. Older alluvium is called as Bhangar, and the newer alluvium is called as Khadar. So these you should learn. So once again, I will repeat. What are the surface differences? The surface differences in Indo-Gangetic plain are Bhabar. The pebble-studded zone porous beds are known as Bhabar. Wide marshy tract is called as Terai. Older alluvium is called as Bhangar, and newer alluvium is called as Khadar. So actually, I thought of telling you Peninsular Plateau. So the remaining part will be completed in my next video. So dear students, whatever I have told you today, to concentrate this. So here also you can get many questions. Write about Indo-Gangetic plain. It may be asked for 4 marks. What are the surface differences in Indo-Gangetic plain? It may be asked for either for 4 marks or 2 marks. Or any one of the surface differences can be asked for 1 mark. What is Bhabar? What is Khadar? What is Bhangar? Like that. What is Terai? So like that, there is every possibility that any person may be asked in any way. So once again, I request you to subscribe my channel and you listen, and repeatedly you just listen my videos, then you will feel social studies is the easiest subject among all the 7 subjects that you are preparing for 7th class. So tomorrow we shall meet. Thank you.